Hello, my loves. Welcome back to Chemistry with Kismet Tarot. I am Monica, and today we are diving into Capricorn's reading, Capricorn's energy. Now, this can be anywhere that Capricorn falls in your chart. It doesn't have to be your sun, your moon, your rising, Venus, Mercury, whatever have you. We all have all the signs in our charts, and the intention of these readings is to help each individual navigate their way through their life, because it is the individual that we need to be focusing on. It is ourselves. And I understand that a lot of times we can get curious about other people. We can want to know, like, how is this energetically interacting with me? But when we know ourselves, then we understand that on such a deeper level, a more personal level, and we're able to discern that for ourselves rather than going to readers. And that's not to say that there aren't beneficial readings from other readers that help give you insights and guidance into other people and their energy and their impact on you. I will never say that. I think that each reader has their own unique, beautiful way of tapping into energy, tapping into spirit, and helping the collective in the way that they're meant to. This is just the way that I'm meant to. Now, Capricorn, first of all, I gotta shift stuff here because it's bothering me. Sorry about the sound. I know if I turn my head, it can get kind of wonky. Your energy is so familiar, and I love this energy because this is the, like, let me get it done, let me handle this energy. And I spent a lot of time in this energy this past summer. And I got a lot done. But where I'm at right now, my heart, my physical health, taking the downturn that it did with the illnesses that I'm dealing with, is not something that is adequately prepared to be in your energy for a long duration of time, because it is very wearing for my body. However, I do deeply appreciate it, and I wanted to let you guys know. I see you. I understand this I need to get things done and handle things and make sure everything is going smoothly. And I also understand that when you're in that energy and you're in that modality, it can be really hard to discern when it's time to stop, when it's time to take a break. However, your energy is different from that today, because whenever I open my channel to receive messages, to get ready for these readings, everything from that point forward really does tie in with the reading quite well. And as I was preparing for your reading, I did the channeled, like, written messages that I usually do. But then afterwards, it was like, okay, now I need to do the laundry. Now I need to do my hair touch up. Now I need to change my clothes so that my aesthetic feels right. And that was what it came down to. There was this kind of feeling energy within your energy that was coming into me to prepare for your reading, that was telling me you guys are shifting out of the very tangible, very pragmatic state and letting yourself get more into your feelings, letting yourself get more into your emotions. That's a huge step, Capricorn. That is such a huge step. When we step into that energy of, you know what, I'm going to prioritize what my body needs. I'm going to prioritize what my heart needs and prioritize what my life needs. And then I'm going to move from there. And if there are people who don't like that, that is not my problem. That is not up to me. That is up to them. That's a really empowered place to be in. So as I was opening to your energy, the very first message that I got was just simply letting go. And it came in over and over. It just kept saying, let it go, letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go. And it wasn't like an echo. It just was this kind of repetitive letting go, like a reminder, letting go. And we can take on these mantras of, like, okay, it's time to let this go. I'm letting this go. I'm releasing this, what have you. That's kind of the feeling that I got from it. And then I got this message that came afterwards, and it said, Capricorn, what is it that you're being called to letting go? There is a time of change come upon you, a time of growth. One sliver remains, and you know where it resides. So letting go is your growth path. And it can be hard for us to hear that we're the ones that know where the thing is that we need to let go, because oftentimes we find that that thing that we think that we know is being covered up by a fear. So what's underneath the fear? If you think of something that you think that you're being called to let go of, and you feel anxiety or you feel fear around letting it go, what resides underneath that? Why would you think that thing is what you need to let go of? What is telling you that? Is it something outside of yourself or is it something inside of yourself? And if that's the case, if it's something inside of yourself, then ask yourself, is this asking me to let this thing go, which brings all this fear of the what ifs and the unknowns? Or is what I'm asked to let go of the notion of letting this go? Am I being asked to see things from a different perspective? Am I being asked to shift my viewpoint, shift my mindset, shift my perspective and my perception of this and turn it inward? Take a look. I can't answer these questions for you, Capricorn. They're just what are coming through right now. So then I got a series of numbers and I thought it was really interesting because I also heard at the same time, the numbers don't really matter. It's about the energy. So I got 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I got 12, 21, 13, 31, 14, 41, 24, 42, 25, 52. And I heard growth and mirroring. So the numbers, to me, when I see numbers like this, they are progressive numbers, but then we have numbers that are mirroring each other, like 20, 12, 21. Those are numbers that are mirroring each other. So you're seeing your own growth mirrored back to you. And sometimes that can be hard to recognize when we're not used to what our growth pattern is and we're not used to seeing it out in the world. And I am no stranger to that. But that is what I was getting from the numbers. So the way this reading works is we have one card here in the middle. This card is the archetypal phase that you're working through right now. This represents an energy, a calling, a place, an archetype, some sort of structure within your life, what have you. However it applies, please use your discernment and apply it in the way that resonates with you. If this doesn't resonate with you, it's just simply not your reading. But this represents this archetypal phase that you're working through, that you're navigating through, and that your guides and ancestors and the Great Spirit want you to be aware of. On this side, on each side, we have the angel and the demon tarot. And I designed these to be your conscious and your unconscious influences to be very similar to like the 90s sitcoms with the angel and the devil that pop up on your shoulders and give you advice, whether the advice is good or bad. Because oftentimes the devil on your shoulder is like, yeah, kick him in the nuts. Yeah, punch him in the throat. Like, do that thing that you know you shouldn't do. Just do it because it feels so good. And then the angel is like, yeah, no, we really shouldn't resort to violence. That's not the way of handling these things. Let's do it a different way. But you are the one that has to discern which way to go. Neither one of them is intended for you to do it directly, but it's for your awareness. In this case, we have the conscious influence. So this is what you know is influencing this archetypal phase and influencing the choices that you're making and the way that you're operating in your life and the things that you're doing and the awarenesses that you're coming to. This is what you are already consciously aware of. The demon tarot represents your unconscious influences. These are the things that are hidden within your subconscious and unconscious mind. So they may be buried a little bit deeper. They may be something that we are repressing. They may be something that we are just not ready to look at or not willing to look at for whatever reason. But that spirit and your guides, and especially your ancestors, are coming forward and saying, okay, it's time to take a look at this because there's more to it than what it appears. Oftentimes when a devil pops up on our shoulder or when we have that unconscious influence and we're not aware of it, especially when it comes from the shadows, we can think like, this is just a bad thing. This is just a bad part of me or a bad thought process. But there's something underlying it. There's always a goodness that comes with it. There's always light that goes with darkness. And we don't always see that because we're not asked to. We're not taught to. We're taught to see that there are stark differences between good and evil, good and bad, right and wrong. And when we are taught that there are just these stark differences, then we can see everything in those light. The duality light or the dichotomy light. And instead, we can be asked to look at things in a synergistic or symbiotic or dualistic yet uniform or united kind of way. However it applies to you, please apply it in what way is right. So your archetype energy here, and I always have to try and like angle it exactly right because there's so much stuff in the background that my camera doesn't like to focus on the cards necessarily. There we go. your archetype is the patron, and it is air energy, and it says mentorship and finances. So this is very divine masculine energy. This is that energy of going out and doing things. And the message that I got from this was help given is received in kind. There are those that are ready for the wisdom that you contain, the knowledge that you have gained, but confidence in yourself is needed. Finances isn't solely monetary. It's a belief, a mindset, a mental structure you have perfected that is beneficial to many. And confidence in the face of change and adversity will lead you straight into your unfolding destiny now. So Capricorn, you're moving into this phase of being called into a kind of elevated role, this role of the matron, the mother, the leader, the teacher. And when we get called into that phase, that is usually the time that we're like, hold on, spirit. Like, am I really the one that's the best qualified for this? Am I really the one that has done this? Have I really gotten far enough that I'm okay to teach people? And I still get into those phases too. A lot, because my life is literally like this massive chaotic state of tower moments all the time. I deal with adversity and challenge all the time, but I also understand that that is literally inherent in the energy in which I incarnated into this world to deal with. You know, my tarot birth cards are the Tower and the Chariot. So this is about my choices and things outside of my control and letting things fall and letting structures crumble and going back down to the foundations and rebuilding and seeing the benefit and the growth of that. That is literally what my life is, which means that if I go more than, say, like 30 days between one therapy session and another, when I sit down in therapy, it's literally a dump session of, well, this is what's going on in my life. And this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and this tower fell, and this tower fell. And it's just been like that since I started therapy. But that is literally how my whole life has been. And I've had people that use that against me. That energy, and that has challenged my belief that I can really be of help to anyone. And then I came back to this channel after like 9+ months off, and I had so many people that were just opening my eyes to things that I have said and things that I have shared and ways that I have helped them with my insights, with my life, with my stories, with my channeling. And I never saw it for myself. I never saw myself in that energy. And Capricorn, that is an energy that you're being called to, this energy of just take the lead, take the charge. There will be people that come to you that ask for advice or that need advice, even if they don't ask outright, their energy will tell you this is what they need. And it's your discernment, how much you share, what is personal, what is private. And nobody faults you for that, specifically and especially spirit. You will never be faulted for what you choose to share and choose what to keep to yourself. That is for you. That is for your heart and for your soul. But when you're being called into this matron archetypal energy, this is asking you to really realize within your own mind that you are capable of helping others. That the wisdom that you contain is something that is a gem in this world. It is a blessing in this world, and this world needs more of it. And like I said, I'm no stranger to being like, no, spirit, you're being silly. That's not for me. I can't help anybody. I can't even help myself. And oftentimes we can't help ourselves because we don't know how. But sometimes when we learn how to help others, we learn how to help ourselves. Sometimes we learn how to help ourselves and then we're being called to help others. It may be one of both of those ways for you guys. But I am here to tell you that this archetypal energy would not come out if you were not ready. So in your conscious influences, you have the Two of Swords with the angel Aniel. Card number 37, God, Lord of all virtues. And usually with the Two of Swords, she's covering up her face. But that is not what this is. And I know this card says breaking the circle or life opposing boundaries and brings victory. But what I got for you guys is this is the angel of change. This is about breaking old patterns, understanding life and universal cycles and nature's rhythms and the law of cause and effect or the law of karma. It's about spiritual autonomy, which automatically leads to physical and individual autonomy as well in our lives. When we have a balance between these two, then we stand in our own autonomy. We stand in our own sovereignty and we say, okay, this is where I'm at. But there was also a purification of negativity from within to outside of yourself. So it's like as you purify, as you alchemize all of the things that you contain within, all of these negative toxic thought patterns, all of these negative toxic behavior patterns, things that have been ingrained in you since your childhood, since past lives, what have you, these things that have held you back and made you feel like you are subject to the ways of the world and the woes of the world and whatever has always come before. And now you're realizing I have ultimate say over the way that my journey is going to unfold. So I'm going to allow it to unfold that way. You actually initiate that angel of change. And that is conscious in your awareness. This is your conscious influence. So you know you're breaking old cycles and old patterns. You know you're looking at things in a completely different way. You may not know why or how you got to that place, or you do know why and how you got to that place. But what you do with it from there, that's ultimately your choice. But in your conscious influences, you know, you're like, I am ready to be done with this. I am ready to be past this. And I've been there. I'm there right now. Like there are so many things right now in my life that I am ready to be done with. And there are things in my life that I'm ready to be done with that are not done with me yet. So in your unconscious influences, you actually have two. You have Aries and Astaroth. Now, these are two very interesting characters because neither one is necessarily seen as super demonic. They're not seen as super bad. So with Aries, I got crocodiles, alligators, ancient Egypt, Anubis, the weighing of the heart against the feather for the purity of the heart and soul when death comes upon you. And then I got this message that sometimes we fall from what was known because others need our help. Those in darkness need the most love and support. And I was talking to my mom, and as I was channeling that, I actually got that message. So Aries fell from heaven. Aries was a virtue. An angelic order of virtues, which is in your conscious influence, is one of the virtues. And he fell from grace, but when he fell from grace, he started collecting like deserters from the military or fallen warriors. He started collecting those who were lost, who needed help, who needed guidance, who needed advice, who had fallen to the darkness so that he could help them. And no matter what it was that seemed to have led him into falling from grace, he kept this part of him that was very pure. And this brought me back, as I was channeling this energy and tapping into it, it brought me back to a conversation that I had with my mom, where I was talking about the difference between dark witches or dark practitioners or dark entities and witchcraft in its foundations and shamanism and working with the light. And I told her, I said, Mom, the people who fall into darkness, the people who practice these dark crafts and these dark arts, the people who attack others and hex others and send them spells, the people who work with those dark energies and entities intentionally in order to harm, those are the people that need love the most. Because those are the people that have fallen into this because they felt there was no safer place. And if you feel there's no safer place than the darkness and pain, that means that all you have known is darkness and pain. And if only one person in their life could show them love and show them light, you might bring a just tiny sliver of hope. That's what this matron energy does, or this patron energy does. It brings this mentorship, this understanding of the darkness, understanding of the light, understanding of what it's like to fall, understanding of what it's like to feel like you can't align and you can't do this and you can't do that. So you must run away. You must escape. You must try something new. I understand that. And this is in your unconscious influences, this urge to help those that seem so down and out. And when we don't believe in ourselves and we don't hold that confidence, it can be hard to help those that need our help. It can be hard for us to want to help those that need our help because we need to help ourselves first. And I understand that. And then we got Astaroth. And Astaroth is one that fell from grace and remembers the fall and remembers every tiny detail, remembers every slight, every pick, every knit, everything, but only remembers from Astaroth's frame of mind. And so sometimes their foundations are broken, whether it's from another or outside, like outside circumstances. They can be rebuilt from within. So if our outside foundations are broken, or somebody outside of us comes in and just smashes us to all hell in some way, shape, or form, we can still rebuild from within. Remembering the details of helping versus harm, like what helps versus what harms, helps you to remember the truth of yourself and to set your soul and your life free. You contain beauty within, strength, resolve, love, truth, and a desire to walk your truest path. So it's about, sorry guys, I had to yawn. It's about trusting in what it is that you contain. And each of the zodiac signs have their own crystal, and this is yours. And there are, like tiny little Lemurian lines on this, so you can actually feel them and you can feel the wisdom and the knowledge. But then you have this crack on the inside that looks like a bird rising. And your top is probably one of the most perfectly like hexagonal tops. But when we look to the bottom, you can tell that this is a crystal that has restructured itself. It has had other crystals growing into it. It has had infiltration. It has had a brokenness at its base, but it has maintained the top in its honor, in its integrity. And that's really what that message came forth with addressing that Astaroth energy. We can think of all the slights. We can think of all the harms. We can focus on those. But then, wow, guys, I'm yawning. Apparently, we have a lot of energy to transmute. But then we're focusing on this bottom part. We're not looking at our strength at the top, nor what we contain in order to have gotten to that strength. And in this case, what you contain inside in order to have gotten to that strength is literally like a divine blessing. I'm trying really hard to get it to focus on the crystal, guys, there. So you can see that inclusion right up here on top, where it just looks like something flying up. And yeah, there might be some brokenness that looks like it's still at the bottom, but that doesn't mean that you haven't already put yourself back together. And then I got this beautiful message. An honest conversation may appear to bring conflict, or we may expect conflict to arise, but steady honesty, firm, respectful boundaries, and dedication to what is right in the heart and soul makes you prepared for the phase you are called to. Wow, Capricorn, I haven't yawned this much in a reading in a long time. Okay. Ultimately, you hold the keys of choice, and choosing your path is purposeful. Now is your time to see the choices and choose. Repeat or let go. Release or linger in the broken. You have the power and the choice. And then I just got this like draw a heart. So I just drew this little heart. So, and you guys may see this here. That's literally from doing my hair dye touch up as I was getting prepared for your reading. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull 5 tarot cards. And these cards over here are intended to be just questions and insight. We've got 2 sacred symbols and a question card for your insight, for your engagement outside of this reading. So the 5 cards that we're going to get is about what you don't see about the current archetypal phase, what challenges you about this phase, where help can be found, how you can connect better with your higher self or your inner self, and how you can connect better with your shadow. These are important things, connecting with your higher self and your inner self, and connecting with your shadow, because then you're connecting with all aspects of your being. So what don't you see about this current archetypal phase for Capricorn? I'm hearing just lay them out. Okay. Okay. What you don't see, what challenges you, where help can be found, connecting with your higher self and connecting with your shadow. All right. And you guys remind me a little bit of Scorpio's energy, where it was just like have it all out, except that Scorpio was just like all the cards had to be dealt before I could sit down and do the reading. They didn't have to be upright. For you, it was just like, show it to me and let's go. So what you don't see about this current archetypal phase is this is the Princess of Wands. What you don't see about this is helping ignite that creativity, that curiosity, that inner wonderment, that page energy that is like, I wonder what's going to spark me today. I wonder what I could do today. And when we're working with this energy, and this is what we're not seeing about it, that can be hard, especially when we are feeling curious and kind of youthful. And we're being asked to be a patron. We're being asked to be like a leader. Like, no, I just want to be a kid. I just want to have fun. You know what? The best leaders that I've ever had, the best teachers I've ever had are the ones that make it fun, are the ones that love what they do and relish in that. So let's see how this is possibly presenting. And I haven't done it like this. Whoa, okay. So this was already flipped over. So that tells me that this is what is your message. And it says loyalty with Stevie Ray with 33. Now, Stevie Ray was, she was changed against her will, changed into this dark vampire. And it was this loyalty to her friends, loyalty to the love that she shared, but loyalty to her goddess as well, and to knowing what was right for her and what was right for her teachings and her morality that really led her to becoming a completely different kind of vampire, where everything was about choice. They still held the darkness within them, but it was about choice and about what they were loyal to. And so the red vampires could go either way. And Stevie Ray teaches about that struggle and that challenge, about loving those that are seen as dark because they've been through the mill, they've been through the hardship, and letting that be that new beginning. Sometimes we can get into a new spark, a new creative beginning, and not realize that we're getting into this new beginning as the leader. We're not getting into it as the student. We're not getting into it as the intern. We're getting into it as the leader. We're moving into that state. So what challenges you here is the Hermit. Your inner world is challenging you. Your inner knowing. It's that sliver, whatever it is that you contain within you, that is that sliver that you are ready to let go of. That's what's challenging you. Do you see your inner worth? Do you see your inner beauty, your inner shine? Most people didn't see Snape's inner beauty and shine. Most people didn't see anything worthwhile about Snape because they didn't understand him and they didn't know him and they didn't take the time to. And he did not have the luxury of being able to elucidate on that because of the role that he was playing in the grand story, in the grand scheme of things. So you're being challenged to realize that everything that you need, you contain within you. Every wisdom, every light, every truth, it's all contained within you. And when we're breaking patterns and we're breaking cycles, we can have a lot of self-doubt come up. A lot of times of like, am I really right? Am I really right for this? And that's okay. That's understandable. That is what happens. And so with that challenging you, how can we find better help for you, Capricorn? How can Capricorn find, before we move into where help can be found, how can they find inner joy or inner help during this challenge? We have wishing with 19. What is it that you've been wishing for? What is the wish of your deepest heart? What is the wish that you contain within you that you're afraid to look at? What are you loyal to when you're making wishes? These are the things that are challenging you. These are the things to look at in that sense. So where can help be found? We have the Prince of Cups. The Princess of Wands and the Prince of Cups. Love can be found when you learn how to soften, when you learn how to move with love, when you learn how to romance your own life. Remember, this is not about others. This is about yourself. So you're learning from the Knight of Cups that convincing energy, that, what's the word I'm looking for? I keep hearing the word modesty, but that's not the word that I was thinking of. It's charisma, that charismatic energy that you contain. And you can, Capricorns, you can be like, I have no charisma. This is just me. But I tell you what, I know some Capricorns and they are some of the most charismatic people I know. And they don't see it in themselves. But this is where you can help yourself. When you can romance yourself, when you can take care of yourself, when you can love yourself, when you can fill your own cup, and when you can see your own beauty in the midst of all of the darkness and all of the chaos and all of the changes that you're going through, when you see this, it is one of the most profoundly helpful things. I'm not one to normally give myself compliments, but I recognize the strength and the courage that I have right now. I recognize the confidence that I need to sit down and talk about the things that I talk about. And I recognize the courage that I need to face boldly what it is that I am facing with my physical health. I understand all of these things, and I understand that it is because I am who I am that I am able to do these things. And so it's not egotistical and it's not tooting my own horn. It's saying, you know what? I have come this far and this is where I am. And this is about you seeing the true beauty in you. I am beautiful and I know that I am. I am worthy of, I am capable of, I am. And realizing that it doesn't mean that you're wrong for feeling that way. And you're not asking other people to bow down and praise you. And you're not telling other people that you're better than them. That's not the point of it. It's about saying, you know what? I see my own inner beauty and I see that radiate forth. And I know that that means that other people will be beautiful too. Other people will have that. And connecting with your higher self and your inner self as the lovers. This is about making that choice, allowing your fear to be seen, to be felt, and then saying, you know what? I still choose love. I still choose my divinity. I still choose to be more than what I am. I choose to be all the parts of who I am. And when you allow yourself that choice, you connect a lot deeper with your higher self. And what will connecting with the higher self help them with? Oh, we got two. Fragment and obedience. It'll help you with those pieces that are not quite integrated yet. And with that feeling that you have to be obedient to a certain way of being. When we're obedient to a certain way of being that isn't ours, we are fragmenting our truth. We are fragmenting our very soul. We're leaving pieces behind in where we're told we need to leave them, rather than harnessing the truth of who we are. You have the choice to bring your pieces back to you. You have that choice. You can make that choice. You can choose that, or you can choose to stay with the cycle, but the choice is up to you. We aren't always beholden to our higher selves, but our higher selves are here to help us. They're here to show us the pieces that we're missing and to help us get there. That's why I love my higher self. So connecting with your shadow, you have the 10 of Pentacles with wealth. Connecting with your shadows literally is talking to yourself with abundance. Because when you talk to yourself with abundance, when you talk to yourself with that prosperity and that elevated mindset of I am capable, I am strong, I am these things, and you really believe it. You believe it in your heart, you believe it in your soul. When you start talking to yourself in these ways, there can be a shadow that rises up and is like, hold up. You're getting ahead of yourself. Hold up. Wait a minute. Aren't you just being blah, 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 blah? And that part of us that pops up can actually hinder our financial growth. But like I got from the beginning, you're already rising above that. So connecting with your shadow means triggering your shadow to come forth. It means being like, you know what? I'm abundant and I live in the lap of luxury. So why would you trigger this? What's the purpose of this being how you would connect with your shadow, this triggering? And it says the high priestess of spirit with the number 7, because it helps you seek, because it brings you wisdom, because it brings you insight, because it shows you all of the ways that you are not the same. That you are not the same as what came before, that you are not the same as the people who have taught you, the people who have raised you, that you get to be different. You get to embrace that difference because you see things from a much higher perspective. So triggering your shadow means that you're going to ask your shadow to come out and play. Why? Because you understand that somewhere in your spirit, that's what you need. That's what your shadow needs. And so when we do that, then we allow ourselves the opportunity to really experience the shadow. All right, Capricorn, we're going to get your final messages. We're going to start with the 2 symbols. Interesting. Okay. Oh my God, you got to be kidding me. We have courage with 37. That's friggin' amazing. That's what we've been talking about, that courage. And then we have water with 18. Now, this is again back to that intuition, that knowing, that feelingness. So this is asking you to move forward with courage. Move forward with the courage that you know what your emotions are saying, what your psychic gifts are saying. You know what your insight is. You know this. Have courage in that. You are meant to make a huge change in this world. And then finally, what is my greatest weakness? And I'm going to get this to focus for you guys for sure so that you can screenshot this if you want. I want to give you guys just a little thing. I can list a lot of my weaknesses, whether it's physicality, whether it is mentality, whether it is trauma. I can list a lot of my weaknesses, but I can't list a single weakness that doesn't come with a strength. We don't always realize that when we sit down to write down the things that we think are our weaknesses, we're actually writing the things that make us the strongest. The things that have made us the strongest, things that have brought us the most peace, the things that have brought us the most healing. I did a collective video where I talked about spiritual exposure therapy and about seeing the challenge as a blessing. You guys might want to check that out. It's on my channel. I'm not going to link it in the boxes because frankly, I never remember. I'm trying to make this as easy of a transition back into filming as I can. And I just feel like it's just better this way. But if you guys want to check that out, please go to my channel and take a look-see. I think it might help. But asking yourself what your greatest weakness is asking yourself to look deeper into you. Have that courage to go deep into those emotions. Have that courage so that you can see all that I can see within your energy. And know for a fact that you guys are alchemizing a shit ton of energy, because I would not sit here fighting, yawning again and having yawned 3 times already. And those were big yawns. If you were not alchemizing the crap out of so many things in your life. You are very talented. And oh my gosh, you guys can literally see Jade's tongue. Like, look at that. That's so funny. Sorry, I got distracted. She's cute. All right. Capricorn, this is what I have for you. Keep doing you. Keep going on this path. You guys are amazing, and I am impressed, and I am in awe, and I am grateful that you are here. I want to take this time to say thank you to your guides, to my guides, to the Great Spirit, to our ancestors, to the cosmic wisdom and energy and flow of the teachers in the night sky, to you, to me, to Spirit, to the Divine Creator, and especially to the Capricorns that this video reaches. Thank you guys so much. Thank you everybody for collaborating. Thank you for co-creating, and thank you for contributing your energy to this channel so that I could sit here and bring forth these messages for you, because it is just awesome. All right, Capricorn, I love you guys all. I will see you at my next reading. Bye.